Welcome back to Estate Agency Mastery. We are on season 4, episode 4 with Oliver Ingles from DDRE. Oliver.
Yes, hi.
This is, we've talked about lead generation. We're talking about making leap to business ownership in previous series, right? This is all about mindset, routine, wellness, whatever it is you do to be the best version of you.
Yeah.
And as Brits, we don't talk about this stuff. It's a bit Tony Robbins-esque, etc.
Yeah.
I want to know the nitty gritty of what you do to allow you to have the mindset that you have. I know fitness has been something you've focused on of recent.
Yeah.
What is it you do to keep your operating system on max?
Okay. Brilliant question, by the way. Wow. There's a few things here. We'll start with the fitness side. You cannot now put a price on your overall fitness and mental health. Okay. You have to prioritize it. We've all burnt out. And your capacity is then at 40%. So fitness not every single morning, but I mean, I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I play football a couple of times. Like, I'm fit and healthy. Okay. Number two is probably around the educational element of what you supply your mind with on social platforms.
Okay.
You have to reform your algorithm. I honestly think where instead of just scrolling through and watching people eat food, okay, or whatever it is that you watch, let it be educational. Let it actually resonate with your mind, where you're challenging your mindset and you're trying to keep this switched on. That is I think that's so critical. It's up there with fitness, trust me. If you get down those social media holes, and we all look at our phone and it says at the end of the week, you've been on it 6.5 hours and socials at 2 hours. If you're feeding your mind with crap, that's what you will think. So that is absolutely critical. The third one, and this is one which I'm just about to start, so I can't really say I'm doing it yet, but I'm close to hiring a business coach.
Pause that. Creating intrigue for the viewers. I want to come back to that, and I will.
Yeah.
But it ties perfectly in with my last couple of questions.
Yeah.
So, most people on this series have said fitness is a non-negotiable. It's really important for them.
Yeah.
Certainly, as a business owner, you control your diary and your schedule. Why though?
Okay. One reason: consistency.
So it helps you build a trait in everything you do.
100%. If you're up at 6 a.m., 6:30, whatever it may is, and that first of all takes a consistent approach, okay, to get up at that point in time. You get back at 7:30, you have a shower, you eat your breakfast, you're done, you're ready for the day. You're more switched on than everybody else. Plus, you've won already.
You've won the day.
You've won already, okay? So that, I think, beds into you being consistent with everything else that you do.
Yep.
Like, that's absolutely key.
Okay, fine. How about, do you switch off? Do you think about work when you're training?
Yes and no. I think the gym is great also for having alone time. Like, at that time in the morning, you're not getting as many calls on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, it's a great point in time between sets and whilst you're doing stuff to actually think.
Yeah.
And actually, sometimes you don't get that.
Yeah.
Because then suddenly the day-to-day starts and you're, and I one day a year around Christmas, I spend all day off my phone. I go and plan for next year and think of ideas. You've got to do that more. I actually do that enough. But the gym's actually a great way to sit back and go, okay, like, what's my day ahead? What am I going to do? Like, it's a great way to use that hour to actually plan as well.
Makes sense. Okay. So that's the fitness. The second one was
social and reforming your algorithm. Yeah.
So I'd like to think, and funny enough, as you mentioned that on the previous podcast as well, I used to have some really good sales guys, some top real estate agents, and then it slips into your high rocks and all that, and then whatever. So I need to do exactly what you're saying. How do I personally go about doing this?
Look, it's actually quite simple. I mean, how algorithms work is the type of content that you are starting to watch consistently, it feeds you more of it. Okay. So I would go out there and I follow now like the top 20, 30 tech entrepreneurs around the globe, because actually I love the fact that they're talking about trends, and then it actually helps you having discussions with other people. You know, some of the great, like the FT does a really good one now. Rather than having a newspaper and flicking through, you can listen to FT and they'll do 1-minute clips of what's happening, and business owners and entrepreneurs and other successful people in real estate. Follow all of them. And by the time that 2 or 3 days in, once you've just watched their content, that's all you get pushed with. And so suddenly now it's, rather than fast cars and burgers, it's value add, and this is what's happening. And the amount of nuggets you pick up where you go, I remember that during that day.
Do you know what? This is gold, isn't it? If you're going to go down a 30-minute
rabbit hole.
Yes, that's the word. If you're going down a 30-minute rabbit, you can text my last podcast of the day, go into 5 o'clock. But make sure you're adding. I just sound weird. I'm going that rabbit hole should add value to or allow you to get your goals, which sounds so weird because your goals are determined. Again, we talk a lot about our sphere of influence, and if you're going, right, well, I know I'll go down the rabbit hole, so I'm going to add people in the rabbit hole that will allow me to be better at my job when I'm advising.
Yeah.
I bet there's times where you've been sat with a wealth manager or a high net worth client and you've gone, thank God I went down that rabbit hole because I've just connected with them on something that, you know, the Google CEO told me yesterday.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Art's a great one. If you're in the high net worth, a lot of people are dealing with art. And I was like, I hadn't got a clue about art. Like I didn't have a clue, mate. And the amount of times I've watched different snapshots on TikTok of different artists and like learned the whole monetary process between valuing, art assets. I now have actually really good conversations with people about art. It's crazy. But again, when you're trying to build a connection with someone, I don't want to just talk about property the whole time. I can connect with them on other things now, and I walk around a home and, I see that's a Kiefer, we'll discuss it. Oh, I know that's a bit like that it's gold dust, that 30 seconds, that 1 minute. Like,
So clever. So clever. All right. The business coach.
Yeah.
You said, I know I should, but I haven't got around to doing it yet.
Yeah.
Why haven't you got around to doing it? In fact, I don't want to focus on the negative. I don't want to focus on the negative.
Yeah.
When are you going to do it?
Yeah. So look, I'm on the verge of just about to hire someone that I've had 2 or 3 conversations with. This never really came into my mind at all. My business has been doing really well. I feel like I've been progressing lots of things. Everyone I speak to who is ultra successful, and I'm very lucky that I deal with very successful people, have all had one. And I sat back one day, I was with my wife, and I was like, all these people, what business go, but their businesses are doing so well. And I was like, why? And then you get into I remember one night I was on a ChatGPT and it was about an hour's conversation between me and ChatGPT. And by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it. And then I had a couple of conversations with people. And so now I'm like pressing the button on it. I've made a decision. I'm doing it. And I think I found the right person to do that with now. And I think that's a bit like you have to make sure it's the right person as well.
Yeah, of course.
You have to feel it. So I'm really excited by it. So I can't give you a tangible, oh my God, it's been amazing yet till the next one. But I'm super excited about that.
Nice. And when are you going to instruct them?
We're talking days now. We're ready.
Fine.
We're ready.
By the end of the week?
Yeah.
I'll hold you accountable to that. I'll hold you accountable. It's whenever again, my old, when I was involved with the American outfit and we helped bring it over to the UK, all the guys I was surrounded with were within the top 100 realtors of that organization. And they all had a coach in spiritual, fitness, financial, business. And actually, I'm not back there yet. And you've given me something to take away today. And that is, I always vowed I would have a coach in every one of those areas.
Yeah. Have you got any of those 5 coaches? I've
had.
Yeah.
And I'd argue through a business partner at the moment, I've got mentorship and coaching are very different. But the mentorship I'm getting from a business partner at the moment is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a very clear trajectory. I'd argue I don't need a business coach now because of where the overall business is going. We're all very much aligned. Yeah. Had I been in the earlier stages or not got to where I wanted to, where I definitely feel I could do with a coach is spiritual.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because I've become far more spiritual, certainly since turning 40 a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
but it's an area of my life I really want to progress with.
I love that. I'd love to hear more about that when you progress it, because I think it's so vital. And look, these people are the top of their game for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, you just said that the top 100 brokers in America have all these coaches. So you have to invest in yourself, don't you? You know, and that's probably another great tip for these people starting out. You have to invest in yourself.
100%. And just before we go back to that tip, because I don't want to miss that, I remember speaking to a good friend of mine called Stephen Cooley, and he was brilliant dude, top 5 at the old business in terms of GCI, really, really good.
Yeah.
And he was like, buddy, you got to buy the vertical. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, buy the title company, buy the solicitors, buy the mortgage company or create one. He's like, yeah, I've just bought a bank. And I was just like, okay, you're paying for lunch. But it was that level of what his coach had come up with. And I think what I'm seeing with you, which is brilliant, is someone that's made the leap, 3.5 years along, has done very, very well for themselves, gone on a massive learning journey, got to a point where, and this is my words, not yours, most agents in the UK go, I'd love to get there. And you're going, well, this is just the start. How do I elevate?
It's the fire, it's the stick. It's the... And funny enough, this is really weird, but last night I was watching Gordon Ramsay on Netflix, this whole Netflix series.
I've just watched it, really good.
And he said something about the fear stick. You know, he again, came from nothing, you know, built his empire, and he's super successful now, like a global brand in just himself. But he says he always has this fear stick that's like, I could lose it, and it drives him forward. And I really resonate with that. No matter how well you're doing, you have this kind of fear stick, and that's your driver. And I think you have to use your fears as drivers, because actually they're probably the most powerful drivers that you've got in your body. And I love that quite. I was like, yeah, do you know what? That is what drives me every single day, you know, to be better and better and better and better. And yeah.
It's so interesting because and we're going really off piece here, but I think if I can help an agent go self-employed, do well for themselves, create wealth, and then invest it in assets so that even if they did have to stop work tomorrow, those assets would earn them income. That's like my nirvana as why I do what I do. So my 5-year-old, I'm like, Lily, what's an asset? What's a liability? I've been doing it since she was 4, right? What's passive income? We got to the station the other day and she went, Daddy, don't worry about tapping your phone. We don't need to pay. I was like, why? And she was like, I bought the assets. And I was like, brilliant, Lily. But
it's brilliant though, mate.
But what are the assets? Because I'm still trying to find them.
But mate, honestly, like such a good, you know, like we've got kids same age. Alf's 5, you know, and I remember last year, you know, we made cakes and I was like, okay, you got to go sell them to everyone in the street.
So good.
Okay. And literally we go onto the front door and I'm like, and you know, when they try to hide behind you, like, mate, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 or 3 in, okay, I had to help him with the first 2 or 3, but then he tries it, gets a good response. Someone gives him £1 for his cupcake, etc. You know, and by like the 5th, 6th, he's like, would you like to buy a cupcake?
I think, mate, I think the best education we can give our kids is showing them how to be entrepreneurs in today's age.
It's the education system it's got to have the biggest reform, because I mean I was a B student. I really was a B student. I literally every one of my GCSEs was B. As in we looked and went, surely something wrong here. It's B on everything. Dropped out of university after 6 months, Brighton. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. And actually now when you look at the way the world is evolving, in finance, like you said, you know, we're used to success is climbing the corporate ladder and buying a house. And actually the wealthy actually not buying as much. They're more liquidity. There's more.
They use debt cleverly, right?
They use their debt cleverly. And being an entrepreneur and learning tech and learning AI and how to deal with your finances and invest, like you said. I mean, I only learned to invest probably about 12 months ago, man. Like that, and I'm 20, I'm 35 now. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And we're learning geography and history, which again, look, you have to have a wide range of things, but teach them how to run a business and leverage and what debt's about. And that's what we should be teaching.
It's so clever. I want to shout out a guy, a friend of mine called Chris Boswell. And if you know, randomly, he grew up on the same road as my family in Birmingham way back when, and we've connected. But the story, he's top broker in Dubai, but the way he's teaching his kids and what he's doing is just incredible. And they are, if I look around the world, probably the most future prepared kids for tomorrow. And he does very well. So last question for me.
Go on.
If you're your own coach, looking at yourself, your family life, and your business right now, what's one bit of advice you'd like to give yourself?
It's a brilliant question, because you open someone up to be super critical of themselves. I would say I have to get much better at delegating. I have been, run my own business now for 3.5 years. I've had many people want to join my business, and I've not let anybody, to an extent, because I found it hard to delegate. But now I know that I have to delegate to grow.
100%.
And now I have to learn how to do that well. And I have to get better at that.
Yeah. Nice. So that all starts with the business coach.
Yeah,
that starts.
This
right?
is part of it. Yeah. And it's like a counselling session the first time I met. It was brilliant, really. I was almost in tears. But you're like, this is the part and process of speaking to people and learning again and bouncing ideas and looking at your business. You have to have that holistic view of your business. You can only do so much. We only have a certain amount of hours in a day, and when you get your businesses to incomes and amount of business at certain levels, to get better, you have to grow, which does mean the hard thing of you have to give over, and you have to trust, and you have to delegate. And that's something which I've never been very good at.
To create meaningful wealth, you have to leverage.
You have to. So that's my...
Kick yourself out your way. You'll be fine, mate. Oliver, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Mate, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a delight. Thank you.